I don't know why people hold on to life. I don't say that as some melodramatic punchline or as a performative cry for help. I mean it in the most plain, matter-of-fact sense possible. I look around and see people clinging to this thing like it's sacred, like it's worth preserving at all costs, and I can't understand it. I can't wrap my head around what it is they're so desperate to protect. We've built entire industries around the fear of death. Self-help books, anti-aging products, plastic surgeries, gurus preaching enlightenment on podcasts, peddling the same recycled nonsense about finding your purpose and embracing the gift of existence, as if existence itself is inherently some kind of gift, as if waking up in a dying world to perform a series of meaningless routines under systems that don't care about you is something to be grateful for. People chase longevity like it's a prize. They pray for more time, buy supplements, meditate, starve themselves on fad diets, anything to push the finish line a little further down the road. They tell themselves it's because life is beautiful, that there's so much to experience, so much to love, so much to fight for. But when you actually ask them what it is they're so desperate to keep experiencing, the answers start to fall apart. They'll say family, friends, art, love, travel, but most of them aren't doing any of those things. Most of them aren't painting sunsets on a Tuscan hillside or falling madly in love on a cobblestone street. They're commuting to jobs they despise, scrolling through feeds they barely process, medicating themselves against the dull ache of routine. They're buying things they don't need to fill a void they won't acknowledge, telling themselves that next weekend, or next year, or once they retire, then they'll start really living. It's always later, always tomorrow. But tomorrow never shows up the way they hope. I think about how we market the future to ourselves as this ever-receding horizon of potential, a fantasy land where we'll finally be free from the petty humiliations and compromises of the present, where we'll have the time and energy to chase whatever it is we think will make us whole. It's a con, a lifelong advertisement campaign designed to keep us moving, consuming, obeying, numbing, without ever asking if the thing we're so desperate to preserve is even worth it. I don't know why people hold on to life, and I don't mean that as a call for despair. I mean it as a question, an honest, unflinching question. What is it exactly that you're so afraid of losing? Is it the shallow validation of strangers online, the ability to sit in traffic twice a day for decades, the endless parade of bills, deadlines, and petty obligations, the performative friendships, the hollow victories, the awkward small talk at parties you didn't want to go to? What part of this is so sacred that the mere idea of letting it go sends people into a blind panic? We live in a world where the air is toxic, the water is poisoned, entire ecosystems vanish, while we debate the latest scandal in entertainment. Kindness is mocked as weakness, authenticity is commodified, and the most honest voices are drowned in noise. We're told to find meaning in it, to extract wisdom from the suffering, to tell ourselves that every heartbreak, every failure, every betrayal is some kind of lesson in disguise. Or maybe it's just suffering. Maybe it just hurts because it hurts, and the insistence on finding some deeper cosmic purpose is just another coping mechanism. Maybe life isn't a carefully curated journey of self-discovery. Maybe it's chaos and noise and coincidence, and most of us are just trying to survive long enough to convince ourselves it all meant something, and still people cling to it. They cling to life as if the alternative is some unimaginable horror, as if non-existence is worse than whatever this is. Maybe it's instinct, some primal biological command, a survival imperative buried so deep in our DNA that no amount of cynicism can unearth it. Or maybe it's cowardice, a refusal to confront the reality that we are temporary, insignificant, and the universe neither knows nor cares that we ever existed. People claim to live for love, for passion, for beauty, for discovery. But most of them haven't felt real passion in years. Most haven't fallen in love without a contingency plan or an escape route. Most haven't stood still long enough to watch the sun set without documenting it for an audience. We commodify our own experiences, turn our memories into content, and call it connection. We quantify our worth in followers, likes, and engagement rates, mistaking attention for affection. I don't know why people hold on to life. I don't know why the idea of letting it slip away terrifies them more than the prospect of wasting it in slow, quiet misery. Maybe it's because we've built a world so devoid of actual meaning that we have to cling to the abstract idea of more time. More time to do what, though? More time to repeat the same conversations, more time to chase the same hollow victories, more time to accumulate things we can't take with us, more time to postpone the things that might actually matter because we're too exhausted from surviving the planes that don't. We built cities of glass and concrete to keep ourselves safe from the elements, and in doing so, we cut ourselves off from the stars. We traded forests for shopping malls, rivers for highways, silence for endless, numbing noise. And then we wondered why we felt empty, why nothing ever feels like enough, why the vacations don't heal us, the promotions don't fulfill us, the parties don't reach us. People tell me to appreciate the small things, a good cup of coffee, a favorite song, the laugh of a friend, and sometimes I do. Sometimes those moments crack through the numbness, like a beam of light through a boarded-up window. But those moments are rare and fleeting and surrounded by hours of soul-crushing tedium. I don't know why people hold on to life. I don't know why the prospect of death is so unthinkable when so much of living feels like dying in slow motion. We tell ourselves it gets better, that things will change, that tomorrow will feel different, and maybe sometimes it does. But most of the time, it doesn't. Most of the time, the weight stays, the gnawing ache beneath your skin that no amount of therapy, medication, or motivational quotes can fix. And maybe that's just how it is. Maybe the great cosmic joke is that we're aware enough to notice how bleak it all is, but not wired to do much about it. So we keep moving, keep numbing, keep pretending, keep clinging to life, not because it's beautiful, but because the alternative is silence, and silence terrifies us. Because in that silence, there are no distractions, no metrics, no audience, just the unfiltered truth of your own smallness. And maybe that's the thing none of us want to face, that we are temporary flickers in an indifferent void, and no amount of clinging will make us permanent. No number of selfies or awards or accumulated possessions will keep the decay at bay. I don't know why people hold on to life. I don't know why they worship longevity like a god when so little of what we call living feels alive. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something I'm missing, some secret current of joy or connection running beneath the surface that I haven't managed to tap into. Or maybe most people are just better at lying to themselves, better at pretending it's all worth it, better at finding meaning in the arbitrary. And if that's the case, maybe they're the smart ones. Maybe delusion is a kind of mercy. Maybe ignorance really is bliss. I don't know. All I know is that I wake up most days and wonder why. Why hold on? Why prolong this endless loop? Why pretend that reaching 80 instead of 75 somehow constitutes a victory? Why chase immortality in a world that feels so thoroughly dead inside? And maybe there's no answer. Maybe it's just inertia. Maybe we keep going because stopping feels like breaking some unspoken rule. I don't know why people hold on to life, but they do, with white knuckles and desperate smiles, with hollow words and half-hearted prayers, with pills and parties and pointless distractions. And I watch them, and I wonder if they see it too, if they feel the weight, if they sense the quiet rot beneath the surface, or if, by some small miracle, they've managed to stay blind to it. And if that's the case, maybe I envy them, or maybe I pity them. I don't know anymore. All I know is I don't understand it. I don't understand why this culture of endless performance, endless suffering dressed up as progress, endless numbing dressed up as self-care is something anyone would want to preserve. And maybe that makes me broken, or maybe it makes me honest.